Okay, so in this video, we are going to go over the definitions of relation and function, and you will be able to determine whether a relation is a function. So introduction to functions, this is unit 3. We are starting unit 3 today. So today's lesson objective is today I will be able to plot points on a coordinate plane and determine whether a relation is a function. So we have these two vocabulary words, relation and function. So what is a relation? Relation is when numbers are linked together, or you can say a set of ordered pairs. So they have mapping. So if you write in ordered pairs, 1 is connected to 2, and 3 is also connected to 2. 5 is connected to 7, 9 is connected to 8. So you have these ordered pairs. So we call these ordered pairs, and it's a set of ordered pairs. And a relation is not necessarily a function because more than one x could be related to the same y. So relation is set of ordered pairs. It could be a function. Sometimes it's not a function. So it can be a function, but not necessarily a function. So what is a function? It's a relation that pairs each input value with exactly one output value. So for example, in this example, each input x is paired with exactly one output. 1 is related to exactly one value. 3 is related to 2, 5 is connected to 7, 9 is connected to 8, but no x value has like 2 lines, right? So a function has basically each input value with exactly one output value, so x does not repeat. And you can also think of a function as a machine where you have input and output. So you put a number in and it spits out a number out. So before we go into whether a relation is a function or not, let's read the coordinate plane. So coordinate plane exists in 2 dimensions, horizontal and vertical. So we call this horizontal line x-axis, and we call this vertical line y-axis. And points are listed in a specific format. So x value comes first, y value is second. So for example, if you have a point here, x value is 1, y value is 1. If you have a point here, x value is negative 1, y value is 1. This is positive 1. If we have point, let's say here, x value is negative 1, y value is negative 2. If we have a point here, x is 1, y is negative 1. So this is a quadrant 1. It is a positive. Quadrant 2 is negative, positive. Quadrant 3, negative. Sorry, I will write negative. Quadrant 4 is positive and negative. So quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. For each point, you can write it in ordered pair like this. So let's plot points. So 2, 5. 2 is x, 5 is y. When x is 2, 1, 2, y is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has to be this point. So it is in quadrant 1. Negative 1 is here, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4. This is in quadrant 2. Again, quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. It's counterclockwise. 3, 0. X is on 3, y is 0. This is on the x-axis. -2, -6. -2 is here. Y is -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is on quadrant 3. Okay, now we are gonna go over mapping, ordered pairs, and tables and graphing. So they all represent the same thing, relations. So this is domain, all the x values, range is all the y values. So when x is 4, y is 3. When x is 6, y is also 3. When x is 8, y is 2. When x is 10, y is 2. When x is 12, y is 1. Okay, so how do you write it in table form? You just write here. So when x is 4, y is 3. X is input, y is output. When x is 6, y is 3. And when x is 8, y is 2. And let me go up one more time. When x is 10, y is 2. When x is 12, y is 1. So this is a table format. They all represent the same relation. And let's graph it. For this graph, you have to go by 2 because you don't have a space. If you go by 1, it's 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Again, the x-axis is independent variable. This is your input. And the vertical line is dependent variable. That's why that's your output. Or you also know this is domain. This is all the x values is called domain, or the y values is range. So when x is when x is 4, y is 3. When x is 6, y is 3. When x is 8, y is 2. When x is 10, y is 2. When x is 12, y is 1. Okay, so let's go over vertical line test. So when they give you a graph and ask whether the graph is a function or not, you can do vertical line test. That's a test where you draw a vertical line and see how many points you hit. Here you hit only once. You can try different points. You always hit the graph one time, and you can move your pencil from left to right and see how many points it is. Like this graph here, it's just once. Like whenever on the graph you draw the vertical line, I'm sorry, these are not like really strict, but use a ruler. It hits only once, so these are functions. But these are examples of function or not when it's not a function. So you have this graph, draw the vertical line, it hits twice, right? If it hits twice, it's not a function. You have this graph, draw the vertical line, here it hits the graph twice, then it's not a function. So a vertical line crosses two values, then it's not a function. So you have these examples, and how do you know it's a function or not? We're gonna do vertical line test. So draw a vertical line, hits the graph twice. Is it a function? No. Here these points are good, but if you draw a vertical line here, well, I'm gonna draw it again here, then it hits the graph twice, so it's not a function. For this graph, every time you draw a vertical line, it hits the graph only once, so it's a function. Here it's the same, you draw the vertical line, it's only once, so it is a function. Okay, now when you are looking at sets of coordinates, the same x value cannot be matched with multiple y values. That means x can't repeat. So here xy, sorry. You have to know always x comes first and y comes next, xy. So if you look at 8 repeats, right? So it's not a function. See, x repeats. So x value repeats. It's not a function. Okay, and now look at this table. You have x values, y values. If you look at x values, no x value repeats, right? So it's a function. Y value repeats, but it doesn't matter. Y value can repeat and it's still a function. You only have to look at x values. So it's a function because no x value repeats. Look at the mapping. This is mapping. So input, output. So x is 4, 6, 7. If you look at 6 is connected to 2 and 3, right? So 6 repeats, so it's not a function. Let's look at this table. X is 3, 2, 1, 0. So no x value repeats, so it's a function. Okay, so these are SQL sample questions. A function of x consists of 5 ordered pairs of the form x, y. 4 of the ordered pairs are shown below, which could be the 5th ordered pair of the function. So let's go over each. So if you have 9, 8, look at the x values. There is no repeating x, right? So it can be a function. And let's do B. We'll do this one, 149. Now 1 repeats, right? So it's not a function. If you do 5, 9, 19, see, 5 will repeat. If you add this one, 3, 9, 3 will repeat. So none of them will make it a function, but only A. Okay, which of the following represents the domain and of the relationship? So domain is all the x values, so it is a F.